All right, let's dive into something a little different today. We're going to be exploring a concept for a graphic novel series that is seriously dark, super ambitious, and it mashes up ancient mythology with some heavy-hitting philosophy. So, get ready to explore a universe where the line between good and evil, well, it pretty much disappears. This is Amor Fati, the Baal cycle.
And right out of the gate, we get hit with this question. This is what sets the entire tone. We're not talking about a simple good versus evil fight here. It's asking you to imagine a world, a cosmos, where temptation and even you falling for it might just be part of some grand, unchangeable design.
And there it is. That's the core premise. You've got this eternal war for the human soul, fought by these ancient beings, all happening in a universe that absolutely refuses to pick a side. This whole idea of an amoral decree is the key to everything. So let's really unpack what that means.
So, how in the world can a universe be amoral? This concept is basically the philosophical engine driving the entire story. We're talking about a world that operates completely without a traditional moral compass.
The number one rule of this universe is based on this Nietzschean idea, amor fati, which means love of one's fate. The idea here is that you don't just tolerate the good and the bad things in your life, you actually embrace all of it as totally essential. Every victory, every devastating failure, every act of kindness, and every moment of betrayal, it's all necessary.
Now in this world, Amor Fati isn't just some philosophy you read in a book, it's a cosmic law. And it's enforced by this entity called the Spirit of Negation. Think of it like an amoral High Father figure. It doesn't dish out rewards for being good or punishments for being bad. It just watches everything happen and basically nods, saying, yep, that was supposed to happen. This gets into that huge debate, right? Determinism versus free will. Here, every choice feels real to the person making it, but every single outcome is already pre-approved, creating this terrifyingly neutral playground for our main players.
And that leads us right to the central antagonist of this whole cycle. He's a figure pulled straight from ancient history, but they've given him this dark, philosophical makeover, the god known as Baal.
So this is Baal, the tempter, and in this series, he's the living embodiment of worldly desire. He's not offering you some abstract salvation in the afterlife. No, he offers you tangible solutions right here, right now. You want power, you want prosperity, you want control of your life? That is his game.
And what's so fascinating here is that you can see why he's so tempting. Historically, Baal was a hugely important god for the Canaanites. As a storm god, he literally controlled the weather. As a fertility god, he made the crops grow. I mean, think about it. In a world that completely depends on farming, he was the literal key to survival. He wasn't some distant evil force. He was the lord of life itself. So what they've done is they've taken all this ancient power and reimagined it. The symbols are all still there. You've got the bull's horns for raw strength, the lightning bolt for that absolute terrifying power. But his old mythological battles against chaos and death, now they're framed as the internal struggles happening inside every single one of us. Choosing to follow him means choosing those immediate brute force solutions to your problems.
But Baal isn't acting alone in this war for our souls. He's just one part of what the series calls an unholy trinity. So let's meet the other two forces at play.
Okay, so if Baal is offering you material power, stuff you can touch, his rival, Lucifer, offers something completely different. He's the rebel, and he tempts humanity not with possessions, but with forbidden knowledge, with intellectual freedom. His path is based on what Nietzsche called joyful wisdom, this idea of finding truth and hope outside of the old established rules. So you basically have two tempters, one for your body and one for your mind.
The third piece of this trinity isn't actually a being at all. It's an act. It's the Faustian bargain. This is the human element in all of this, the principle of relapse. It's our willingness as people to make a deal, to trade away some distant, unseen salvation for something powerful, something profound right now. And that is the engine that keeps this whole cosmic machine turning.
So you put all these pieces together on the board, what do you get? Well, you get the core conflict of the series, humanity's unending, and maybe completely unwinnable, war against itself. And the whole story is structured around this brutal 5-step cycle, which is pulled right from the old biblical stories about Baal worship. First, Baal offers a solution. Then, mortals, in their desperation, they accept it. This inevitably leads to suffering. A hero rises to lead people back to a higher path. And for a little while there's peace, until the temptation comes back. And the crucial point here is, it's designed to repeat. This quote just nails why the cycle is eternal. Humanity keeps forgetting the fundamental lesson. When things get tough, the promise from an idol offering immediate relief, rain for your dying crops, victory in your next battle, it's just too powerful to resist, even when you know deep down that it's probably a trap.
And this is where the philosophy gets truly dark. The heroes fight, their repentance, all their temporary victories, in the grand scheme of things, they're completely futile. And why? Because that amoral Highfather, the spirit of negation, it affirms everything. The fall into sin is necessary, and the heroic struggle for salvation, that's necessary too. The system needs both to even exist.
Which leaves us with the central, absolutely chilling question of the entire series. In a universe where both good and evil are affirmed as essential parts of fate, where every single outcome is pre-approved by the cosmos, what is the meaning of the struggle? What's the point of being a hero? That right there, that's the dilemma at the very heart of Amor Fati.